Right, that's all fixed down, and I've put my second roof plate on, half lap those and fixed those, so we're ready for the roof now. So as with the back wall and the end wall, because they're close to a boundary and it'll be almost impossible to work on those flanks without a scaffold and the boundary fence being in the way, in a similar way that I did the side wall and the end wall, I'm going to do the same with this back gable end. So what I've done is I've used the truss as a template, and I've temporary screwed, this is the bottom plate of my double plate that's up there, and I'm going to build my stud wall off that, use the truss as a template, and then clad it as well. I'll just measure down my gauge to catch up the gauge of the feather edge boarding there. Then once it's all, I'll clad it all, unscrew it from the truss, stand it up on the end, fix it down, and then that's that gable end complete, and then I shall put the roof on. Right, I'm going to put I have put the first course of feather edge on the back here. So what I did is I went to the back and measured up my gauge of 148. And basically, what I need to do is drop this one down 113 mil, and then I've put a screw in it because I don't actually need to nail it because the course above nails will catch it. So I've dropped that down 113 mil, and then when I sit this gable panel on top of the rear panel, the gauge should work right from this point down to the next one, and then consequently all the way up. So when I cut these boards on the end of this gable panel, I was a little bit lazy and left them square and long. So what I've done here is I've just set a piece of 4x1 up, flush. The edge of the 4x1 is flush with the top of the stud work, and then I've just got my saw and set that to the width of this 4x1. So I should just run the saw down there. It's sort of a ghetto track saw, I suppose, and that'll just neaten those up. I'll do that now. So what I've done just as a precaution, because this feather boarding is hanging down quite a long way, this is where it laps on to the top of the panel behind. What I've done is just fixed temporarily some bits of batten on. I've screwed it in here, and I've just put a screw in here, and I've done that sort of, 3 places down. And what that does is it just gives this bottom course a bit of strength while I'm lifting it in, just in case if I sort of didn't have that on and I was to try and lift it with that on the floor, it may well break that off. So that just gives that a bit of support.
16, but up to 13.
Now you can see now the gable panel is fixed to the end panel. This was the course here that we hung down that 113mm from here to here, and now this was the last course of the full panel. And now you see when I put my gauging rod on there, it fits perfectly. So that now gauges all the way through, right the way up. So the only challenge I've got now, it shouldn't be too bad, is I've got to go along this course here and just fix that down. So I'll do that now. I've got to squeeze down there. Just a small tip here, I'm just marking out my wall plate for the roof, and I found out where my first mark goes, and then consequently all the others will be, in this case, 600mm centres. Now, rather than sort of just lay the tape on there and roll it out and lock it at the end, what I do is get my Stanley knife and I make a small cut on the line and then pare it back, and then what that does, it gives me a small slot to slot my tape onto, and then I just keep a reasonable amount of tension on it, and off I go. Pull the tape, mark all the centres off. Just keeps it nice and accurate, and then just give it a wiggle and off it comes. So I'm marking out the longitudinal braces. These are the braces that go in between the trusses, or in the trusses, to hold them together and keep their relative spacings. So all I do, there's 4 in this roof, all I do is stack them up and keep them slightly back on the plate so I can see the marks I've already made, and then all I do is transfer the marks with my square up onto the braces, and then put a little tick so you know which side it's on, and that way everything is all marked out exactly the same. All the trusses will run parallel with each other. The next job to do is working on this cat slide roof, which comes down off the side of this main roof. Now, the reason I haven't finished the roof on the front is because it sits on a timber frame, and also there's a timber frame that goes It's got 3 legs that stand on these brick piers, and that supports the cat slide roof. So what I'm going to do is get on and start working on this oak that I've got here. This is green oak. I've got 3 pieces of 175 or 175 for the front timber frame. And I've got these 5 pieces of 150 by 150 for the side frame that's going to support this cat slide roof. So I'm going to get on and make a start on those.